Today I'm bringing the heat as I give you not only 3 great tips for buyers in a hot market, but 3 additional tips for sellers in a smoking hot market.
You better get fired up.
Hey, I can't speak for the whole market, but here in Washington, it is unquestionably a hot market. It's crazy. We just sold our house this weekend, which is what inspired this video. And we had 31 showings in, it was 3 or 4 days. We had 6 offers. It was extremely competitive, but that is what every single listing's like. It's nuts. So what I wanted to do is bring you guys 3 great tips for sellers and 3 great tips for buyers to make sure you're getting the transaction that you're looking for, right? So let's start with the easy side in a hot market, the sellers, man. Everybody wants to be a seller in a seller's market. And I'm speaking from experience here. I'm going to give you some of the things that we actually did that we feel benefited us in this situation. So number 1 is get the heck out of there. You're not going to get 2, 3, 4 showings a month. You're going to get 8, 10, 12 showings a day. It is hot. The second day we were on the market, I think we got 15, 16, 17 showings. It was crazy. It makes no sense, especially with a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, to be in that house. So we got a hotel room and we just lounged in the pool all weekend. We didn't have to worry about in between showings. Do we need to go to the park? Oh, let's go home. Oh, we can't. We got another showing. Let's go to the grocery store. Let's come back. Oh, we can't. Now what are we going to do with the food? You don't have to worry about any of that, right? So if you've got kids, I almost demand it. Get out of there. But even if you don't have kids, it makes a lot of sense to go stay at mom's house, go get a hotel, go take that little up north vacation you've been wanting to take for the last year or 2. Just do it, but get out of there, okay? Number 2, because you know you're not going to be there, because you have so many showings, I want to recommend a note, right? And the note does 2 things for you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. You're going to write a note that says, this is kind of what our note said. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by our house. We love the house. I hope you guys love it as much as we do. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to our realtor. Please, because we have so many showings, leave the lights on, leave the house as you found it, because we're not able to come home because the showings are back to back to back to back. So please just leave all the lights on, leave the windows open so that the next person doesn't have to fumble through the first 5 minutes of turning all the lights on and everything, right? So that's what we left on the note, and we left that right on the front door, right? What that does for you is 2 things. Number 1, it welcomes them, right? And it asks them to leave all the lights on so that you don't have to worry about coming home between showings, because it's sometimes not possible, and your home is still going to look great. And number 2, it tells the buyer right up front, you better bring your best foot forward right on day 1, because if you don't, there are back to back to back to back showings, and it's going to be difficult to get this home unless you put your best foot forward. So you want to make sure that you nicely present that in a very welcoming letter, all right? And then the third thing, I don't know how to use my fingers here. The third thing for sellers is set a deadline right when you list it. You know you're going to sell. You know you're going to get the showings. You know you're going to get the offers. So set a deadline. We did 5 days out and just say, hey, on Monday, we're looking at offers at 2 p.m. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. The reason we did 5 days, my amazing realtor, Mitch Dietz, a Coldwell Banker, right? He is the Olympia, Washington man. He said, hey, I did all this research and I looked at the average sale price that you get compared to original asking price, and it was highest on the 5th day. I want you to do the 5th day. I said, dude, this is your market. Do what you want, man. If that's what you want, let's do it. We did it. And we got, I'm not going to tell you yet, but I'll tell you, we got more, substantially more than we were asking for. Very, very happy. Couldn't have done better. And the buyers too. I'm going to get to this when I talk about the buyers. The buyers are very excited about this house too. So everybody's happy, right? But make sure you get that deadline. It allows you to go have that fun, not worry about the house. Do not stress out. And on that 5th day or whatever deadline you set, you can come back and then start looking at those offers, right? All right, now let's switch over to the buy side. 3 big tips for buyers. Number 1, Don't even schedule a showing unless you're already pre-approved. Go talk to a lender, make sure that they see all of your income and your credit and everything that they want so they can tell you not only can you get a loan, but you're approved for X amount of dollars, all right? So if you're approved for $400,000, you're not looking at $450,000 homes. It's not gonna happen. Make sure that you're looking at homes within your budget, within the pre-approved amount, okay? I got a bunch of offers. We had 6 offers. If any one of those offers did not have a pre-approval letter in this market, I wouldn't have even considered it. It could have been 10, 20, 30 grand higher than the best offer. And I would have said, listen, I just can't risk it. I'm going to go with this great offer right here. So absolutely make sure you're pre-approved. All right. Number 2, have your realtor or even you contact the listing agent and just say, hey man, we want to make an absolutely wonderful offer the first time. Can you tell us what the seller wants? What closing date do they want? What do they want to leave and not leave, right? Maybe they offered a little too much in the listing to be nice, to be welcoming, to hopefully get an offer, but you want to leave them as much as they want because you want to get the best offer to them, right? So call and ask those questions. I'll tell you without getting into details, on this house, one of the things that really sold us on the offer that won was we had such a great offer, we didn't know if it would appraise that high, right? I don't know if the appraisal is going to come through and say, yeah, you can actually get that amount because we got a really good number. So the buyer said, we want to set ourselves apart. We're going to offer X amount of dollars in cash if the appraisal falls short. So let me give you an example. Let's use a number that my house is not worth. Let's say it's $1 million, right? It sells for $1 million, but it only appraises at $950 because there's no other comps to support it. I can't sell it for $1 million and have that person get that loan, right? Unless they're a cash buyer. So what that person could do is say, we can't make up the whole 50 grand, but I tell you what, if it falls short of $1 million, we'll give you up to $20,000. So if it comes in at $950, I get the $950 from the mortgage money plus 20 grand in cash. If it comes in at $990, I would have that $10,000 difference made up with that cash. So what a phenomenal way of setting yourself apart. And I tell you what, it did it for us. So I think that's a great tip. And then finally, the third tip, realtors talk about this all the time and we kind of giggle about it and laugh and tease, but it works. I pride myself on being a logical guy, making good logical decisions, not being emotional. But the buyers wrote me this letter. They wrote a nice, heartfelt letter, had great things to say about all the wonderful things that they wanted to do in our house. And we plan on having kids here, and we plan on using this for this. And we love the water that you've got just 2-3 blocks from your house. And we really appreciate all the stuff you did outside. And it's impossible not to read that and have some sort of emotion take over you, right? I'm not a heartless Grinch. So even as a logical guy trying to make logical decisions, I see that and you start to feel the buyer, right? You start to picture them. You see what they're going to do with your house. And you just want, because you're emotionally attached to your house, you want to give it to someone who's going to love it as much as you do, right? So when they write that nice letter, it just draws you in. So I really advise that you put a letter along with it too. Well, those are the 3 tips for both buyers and sellers in a smoking hot market. You guys stay fired up.